Coach, interesting first period. You dominating the faceoff circle. I think it was 17-4, but they get the 3 goals in a row. Some turnovers there that led to it. Kind of, what did you see in that first period, and then what did you see about how your team responded from there?
Yeah, the first period was a weird one for us because we thought we were playing pretty well and kind of taking the game to them, and then we, as you said, we turned 3 pucks over and it's 3-0. And the goal at the end of that first period for us, I think, gave us more than we actually even thought it was going to give us. The second period, I thought we responded well. We were chasing the game, though. I mean, obviously, when you're down by 3 goals, whether it's home or the road, you got to chase things around a little bit, and we did that. And unfortunately, it was just one of those nights where pucks kept going in our net, at least to a certain point. Once we tied up in the third period, I really thought we were going to find a way to close out the game and finish it off, and obviously that didn't happen.
You talked about the discipline of the team, no penalties tonight. What did you kind of like from your team as far as the way kind of overall, and you look at that stat?
Yeah, I thought we played harder tonight than last night myself. That's what we were looking for. We didn't think we were overly competitive last night, although, the scoreboard was in our favor. We just didn't feel like we played the game the way we're capable of playing. And tonight the scoreboard says the opposite, and I thought we played better tonight. I still... And full marks to Niagara. They really put a bunch of pressure on you, and they're a good offensive team, and we just didn't defend well. I don't think over the course of the weekend our defending was poor. But I think we showed offense. 9 goals over the course of the weekend for us isn't normal. So that was good to see. But as we've talked about all year long and starting at the beginning of the year, we've got to keep pucks out of our net. And this weekend and tonight in particular, we weren't able to do that.
We talked about the offense that you've gotten from different members, especially that freshman class. Turansky tonight, a goal and assist.
Yeah.
Kind of what did you see from the way that he played?
Well, I thought it was a big time goal. I can tell you that he's a pass first guy, but he obviously showed that he's got some finish to him as well. And we know that that's the future of our program, and those guys have done a nice job, and they're being put, Tim, in every situation. I mean, Turansky and Dukovac were on the ice there at the end and for that last goal against. And I'm not placing any type of blame. That's not what I mean. What I'm saying is the experiences they're getting are ones that you just can't teach. And although you want your older players to be leading the way and things like that, it's not a bad thing for young people to experience these type of losses. Hopefully, it's one that bothers everybody enough where they'll do something about it.
So the win yesterday, the tough loss today, and now you get a week off before you're back into NCHC play. How do you take those kind of collective experiences moving back into conference play? Typically,
when you have an emotional loss like this, you've got to give it. You've got to give it some time to decompress, and we'll go back to work on Monday, and we'll start to focus on our game, just like we've been doing. But when you look at our schedule from St. Cloud until now, there hasn't been a lot of practice time. So we'll go back to practicing and drill down and try to make sure the details of our game are right, because as anybody knows, the next, whatever it is, 16 games or something are going to be very, very difficult and against some really good teams. So we'll have to make sure that our game is right.
And not the result you wanted, but what did you see from your team coming back after the first 19-plus minutes of the first period, get down 3-0 to rally and kind of bring it down the stretch?
Yeah, I think we had a really bad first period, but then we had a pretty good response in the second, scoring some goals and making it a tight game. But, even at the start, we got to play 60 minutes, and that same thing showed it right at the end when we get scored on the late goal. We just got to be able to keep playing and keep the score tight.
You had a goal and assist. Kind of walk us through your goal and what you saw in that play in the last period.
I actually just jumped off the bench to get on the ice, and I saw PJ Fletcher skating up through the neutral. So I just kind of tried to open myself up, and I just shot it, went in.
Getting back into conference play, you have next week off and then heading to Denver. Kind of as you look back at this first half of the year, what are you hoping to see out of your team going to Denver and kind of back into NCHC play?
Yeah, I think we had a couple bad weekends and but then we also had games that show that we could play with anyone, and I think we can just build off that, and especially maybe like start the year off good against Denver.